Hi everyone, this is Expand Your World, and today I'm going to show you one of my Assassin's Creed figures that I actually bought from one of my friends. It is Conor Kenway, and he's basically part of the Assassin's Creed 3 that came out in 2012. The figure is called the Freedom Edition, as you can see there on the box. And as we can remember, during that period of Assassin's Creed 3, it was part of the America's independence period where they fought against the British Empire to get their independence itself. So guys, let's start off with a closer look, not only from the figure itself but also all the things that came with this box itself. So having a closer look at the cover of the box, you can actually see that very nice detail that was added of the Assassin's Creed 3 that came out in 2012. Actually see all that 3 stars basically depicting that Freedom Edition of the figure. If you turn it, you can actually see all the stars representing that which we get on the American flag, and here you can actually see the background or additional information of the game itself, which they show and what you can get together with this Freedom Edition of Conor Kenway Assassin's Creed figurine. Having a closer look at the box itself, you can actually see these additional detail that they added to the box. Just to turn it, it looks kind of like similar to the cover that came with the box, except all the additional information at the back. And when you go to the top, you can actually see that of the American Eagle, Unum. I'm not sure what that actually means, but I think it's part of like liberty, freedom, and brotherhood. I'm not sure if that's part of the Assassin's Creed Unity, freedom, equality, brotherhood, that kind of like thing. But you can, it's really very nice detail that they added here at the top section of the box. And you can actually open this and you will get all those additional information. So some of the additional things that they added to the box, as we can remember, the game came part of the box itself, but when I bought this Assassin's Creed figure from a friend, he didn't have the game. I actually sold it to someone else, but this is a steel casing which basically came part of the collector's edition. It's a very nice scene, kind of like looks similar to that of Conor Kenway standing there on top of the rocks, and that American flag there at the back. So if you can open it, you can actually see all the additional instructions, booklets that were added to the steel casing, and it's actually without the games of Assassin's Creed 3. Now if we have a look at this book, everybody mentioned that this is the notebook of George Washington itself. So if you can actually open it, you will see all that additional information, kind of like characters that were part of the game, all that additional storylines of basically in the book itself, and missions that George Washington was part of to get freedom and their independence from the British Empire. And lastly, these 2 postcards that comes in this envelope of Assassin's Creed, kind of like showing towns that were kind of like taken control of by the British Empire, and it's kind of like shows where it's like a ghost town itself. And here you can actually see Conor having a look at one of the British barracks, probably spying on them and to see what is their enemy strength. So guys, let's have a closer look at the figure. So when we have a closer look at the figure of Conor Kenway, we can actually see, as we remember from all the missions that is part of Assassin's Creed 3, well, some of the missions were during the winter periods, and you can actually see Conor's standing on top of a kind of like a mountain ridge on a couple of rocks, and it's kind of like a winter season with all the snow that was added. What is very nice is these blood patterns that were added to kind of like the brutal conflict that was taking place during the independence fight for America itself. What is also very nice, they added this flag here at the back. You can actually see the 13 stars that were added here. As we can remember from the fight for independence, it was 13 colonies that were fighting against the British Empire to get their independence. So kind of having a closer look at Conor, you can actually see most of his clothes that he's wearing and the weapons that he's wearing. That kind of like depicts a lot to kind of like Indian tradition. If you have a closer look here at the top section, you can see that eagle that was added there at the top of his hood, kind of like depicting, if you can remember, a lot of eagles are found on symbols of Indian traditions. Also together with the weapons, especially this tomahawk, it's different to other people's axes. The tomahawk was a very widely used weapon by the Indians itself. The tomahawk is a very good weapon to use in close combat, especially as we can remember there was also a lot of conflict that took place between Indian tribes. You can actually also see the detail that they added, like a feather, which I think is part of the Indians kind of like tradition. And you can also see here the leather boots or shoes that the Indians kind of like made during that period of time. If you also have a look at the colors, kind of like it's very similar to that of Henri Dorian and Elise of the French Revolution. It's kind of like the white, blue, red, kind of like a resistance color. And also you can remember the blades that these assassins wear. I think that is very, very nice that they added this blade of the assassins to this figure. Just to turn it around, you can actually see there is a bow that they added just to kind of like move this flag a bit so that I can show the rest of the figure. You can see they added this sword that Anna used, or Conor, my apologies for that, Conor used during the missions. There's also these two pistols, flintlock pistols. It doesn't feel like they can come out, but yeah, that I really like, adding like colonists weaponry together with Indian weapons like this bow, arrows and a quiver. You can actually see all the detail that they added from the Indian traditions. That's very, very nice. I like it. So kind of like this cloak that is also going downwards to the bottom of the rocks scene. It kind of like feels as it is Batman that is on his way to kind of like have a fight against some of his enemies that he's going to face. But overall, I must say this figure really looks very nice, especially that bow and arrows and quiver that was added. You can actually see what is very nice or interesting about close quarter combat is that this bow isn't a very long bow as that of Bayek of Siwa, that of Assassin's Creed Origins. That bow was very longer, kind of like, if you can remember, for these bows that are a bit shorter, those are for close quarter combats and they can't shoot as far as the other bows and arrows. But yeah, this, if you can remember from the Assassin's Creed Origins from Bayek of Siwa, that bow is very longer, so that to shoot targets at a further distance. So basically that I really think is very nice. And all these weapons that they added to Conor, I think the combination of colonist weapons together with Indian traditional weapons is very nice. So overall guys, I must say I'm very glad that I managed to get this Assassin's Creed figure of Conor Kenway. I managed to get it from one of my friends that decided to get rid of all his Assassin's Creed figures, so I managed to get this one. But you guys also need to remember that, especially with these figures, you need to check for authenticity, that these figures are not fake. Especially what I do, I ask, if I buy any figures from someone, is to check the authenticity section here at the bottom to ensure that they are not fake Assassin's Creed figures. So overall guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like it, I would really appreciate it, and if you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You guys know I'm also an Assassin's Creed fan, together with my Lego collections that I have. So I would really appreciate it if you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you everyone.